A man risked his life just to help his best friend. This is the story of Bassanio, a young nobleman with a heart full of dreams but a purse that is tragically empty. His greatest desire is to win the hand of the beautiful and wealthy heiress, Portia of Belmont. To do so, he must present himself as a suitor of means, a task for which he is woefully unprepared. He sees only one path forward, one person he can turn to in his moment of greatest need. He turns to Antonio, the merchant of Venice, a man whose name is synonymous with integrity and whose ships sail the world's most treacherous seas. But more than a respected merchant, Antonio is Bassanio's dearest friend, a bond so profound it transcends simple camaraderie. Antonio has supported him before, his generosity as boundless as the ocean, his fleet's command. So, in the golden-hued light of a Venetian afternoon, amidst the quiet corners and whispered secrets of the city, Bassanio lays his soul bare. He speaks of Portia, of her beauty, her virtue, and the seemingly impossible quest to win her love. He confesses his financial ruin and asks, not for a gift, but for a loan estate to fund his journey to Belmont and his pursuit of happiness. Antonio listens, his expression a mixture of deep affection and somber consideration. His heart aches for his friend's plight. He would give Bassanio the world if he could. But fate, in its cruel irony, has left him momentarily vulnerable. All his fortunes are at sea, tied up in merchandise, scattered across the globe, not a single ducat available in cash. Yet, for Antonio, a friend's need is a sacred call to action. He tells Bassanio not to worry. His own credit is good in Venice. He will stand as guarantor. And with that selfless promise, that simple act of unwavering friendship, Antonio sets in motion one of the most dangerous, infamous, and heart-wrenching deals in the history of Venice. The price of this friendship will soon be measured, not in gold, but in blood. A man risked his life just to help his best friend. This is Venice, a city of shimmering canals and whispered secrets. Among its sun-drenched stones and shadowy corners, a young nobleman named Bassanio harbors a deep desire. He has fallen for Portia, a beautiful and brilliant heiress from the nearby estate of Belmont. To win her hand, he must travel to her home and pass a test of character set forth by her late father. There is only one problem. Bassanio has lived a life of extravagance, and now he is utterly broke. He lacks the funds to even present himself as a worthy suitor. Desperate, he turns to the one person he knows he can always count on, his dearest friend, Antonio. Antonio is a wealthy merchant, a man respected throughout Venice, whose love for Bassanio knows no bounds. He listens, his expression a mixture of warmth and concern. As Bassanio explains his predicament in a quiet corner overlooking a tranquil canal, Antonio's own fortune is currently at sea, tied up in merchant ships scattered across the globe. He has no ready cash to offer, but that doesn't stop him. For Bassanio, he would do anything. Antonio makes a fateful decision. He tells Bassanio to find a lender in Venice and secure a loan, using Antonio's good name and credit as the guarantee. He agrees to help his friend pursue love, even if it means indebting himself to a stranger, even if it costs him everything he has. And that single selfless choice, born from a friendship too deep, will set in motion one of the most dangerous and notorious deals in the history of Venice, binding Antonio to a contract that will demand nothing less than a pound of his own flesh. Video opens with soft, aesthetic shots of Venice canals at golden hour. The light filters through ancient architecture, casting long shadows. There's a noticeable film grain effect, lending a timeless, cinematic quality to the footage. We see two men in Renaissance-era clothing, their faces partially obscured, speaking earnestly in a quiet, secluded corner of a stone courtyard. Asterisk, asterisk, voiceover soft, intimate, poetic, asterisk, asterisk. A man risked his life just to help his best friend. Cut to a shot of Bassanio, looking troubled but hopeful, standing on a bridge overlooking a shimmering canal. He clutches a letter in his hand. The camera then shifts to Antonio, a merchant with a kind but melancholic expression, watching ships in the harbor, in the heart of Venice, where gold flows as freely as the water in its canals. A young nobleman named Bassanio found himself ensnared by a desire that outstripped his fortune. His heart was set on Portia, a brilliant and wealthy heiress from the sun-drenched estate of Belmont. To win her, he needed not just courage and wit, but an appearance of wealth he simply did not possess. He needed 3,000 ducats to fund his journey and present himself as a worthy suitor. Bassanio was a man who lived with great passion but little foresight, his generosity often leaving his own coffers empty. So, with hope as his only currency, he turned to the one person he knew would never refuse him, his dearest friend, Antonio. The scene shifts to Antonio and Bassanio walking together through a bustling Venetian market. The sounds are muffled, focusing on their conversation. The camera captures intimate moments, a hand on a shoulder, a shared knowing glance. Antonio was a prince among merchants, his wealth spread across the seas on magnificent trading ships. But more than his fortune, his defining feature was his profound, almost boundless love for Bassanio. Seeing his friend's distress, Antonio's own heart ached. He listened as Bassanio spoke of Portia, his words painting a portrait of a woman of unparalleled virtue and beauty. There was only one problem. All of Antonio's capital, every last ducat, was tied up in his merchandise, currently sailing on treacherous waters, not expected back for months. He was, for the moment, as cash poor as Bassanio himself. Yet, the thought of failing his friend was unbearable. Close up on Antonio's face, a look of grim determination settling in. The sunlight catches the worry in his eyes. And so, Antonio made a promise. He would not let Bassanio's dream die for lack of funds. His own name, his reputation as a reliable merchant, was still a powerful asset in Venice. He would use his good credit to secure a loan for his friend. He would do anything for him. The atmosphere darkened slightly. The camera follows them as they walk towards the Rialto, the city's financial hub. The mood becomes more tense, the music subtly shifting to a more ominous tone. And that choice, born of the deepest loyalty and affection, will lead them to the doorstep of a man who despises Antonio with a chilling intensity. It will set in motion one of the most dangerous deals ever struck in the winding streets of Venice. A deal that will demand a terrible price and a choice that will cost him everything.